Alright, greetings. Just making sure this thing comes on. Okay. 8 seconds. Still nothing showing up. There's one hell of a delay. This isn't looking good. There we go. Man, it's like a 20-second delay there. I guess I have to redo my system or something because YouTube is not working. Maybe it might be me, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's everybody. I haven't messaged YouTube about it. Not that I know what the hell I'm talking about. Greetings, thank you for joining us for tonight's bizarreness. So, I was going to go into Ursa Major. Ursa, I should have wrote that down. Keep changing everything. Ursa Major. I felt it was like a lot of fish beings there. A lot of aquatic beings. And what was it? Sagittarius yesterday was human and feline. Obviously, there's other things there too, but Ursa seems to be an aquatic energy, but not that we can go there and prove it anytime soon. But that's not. I would channel those energies and see where we get from that. But I'm going to go into time travel. It's mostly the title of this. So I got to download. I fired my spirit guides again. I don't even bother getting to know them anymore because I know they're gonna get fired eventually. I keep them around for a while, so that's good. You guys are doing pretty good. And then if they get on my nerves, they're gone. So yeah, just do a fire. I don't even bother knowing who they are or don't care. So the good ones stay and the junk leaves, basically. So that's what happened recently. I recommend that for any of those out there. Those that don't feel comfortable with it, that's fine. But some of us have to do a spring cleaning every once in a while. So you can do it daily if you want. Do whatever you want. Some people say you have to change your name or something like that. Add like a letter or some kind of nonsense, but I don't bother with that. That's like superstition. You do whatever you want. So after that, I got a minor quiet download, and it's about freaking time they give me something. So yeah, cause most of my incarnate or somewhere, yeah, are time travel incarnations. I haven't really. I'm not into Doctor Who or anything like that. I don't have a time traveling car. But usually, well, I've seen this back in 2011. Yeah, years like I walked out. I remember the day I walked out of Starbucks and I saw a cube energy, like a giant one. This in my mind. It was a time traveling cube, and I saw a futuristic city that was a time traveling city. Like time travelers would go there, and I fictionalized all of it. But now when I'm diving into this world, I'm seeing it as more of a realistic reality. Of it makes more sense of what I've been through, because I'm like a different energy than most others out there that are doing this. Some are angels, some are spirit guides that are doing this type of call it work. I don't call it work. Call it just I don't know what I call it, but I don't call it work. But call it whatever you want. Mine's mostly a time traveling energy, and I never really dived that deep into it. But I remember as a kid, I was obsessed with Back to the Future 2, because they messed something up and they had to go back and fix it. So obviously, when you screw something up in a timeline, that's gonna really mess you up. And there's something about that just stuck with me. Yeah, just I was obsessed with it as a kid. Just like couldn't get enough of it. Healing energy, you can say. So time traveling is like it's not for everybody. And it's like the Wild West, but it's worse. I mean, you can really screw stuff up. If you're, and there's rogue energies going around. There's always, with some that are like specific time traveling beings that, like, there's all different types of agendas and purposes for it. Uh, but those that talk about time traveling, like, it's in, you can find on YouTube, they're most likely been involved with it in some shape or form. They have some kind of memory of it. I do. I think one of my biggest, maybe not. That was somebody from the future, but anyway. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not your traditional time traveler or anything like that, but I do remember futuristic cities, other versions of Earth. It's like, in other versions of Earth are just other timelines. So it's like if you screw something up here, you go to another version of Earth and try to find how you solve it or something like that, and you kind of blend the two together. It's weird, something like that. And it's you can say it's high adrenaline. It could really mess with your mind. It could, and I know Zetas time travel a lot, but there's other beings that do it too, and some are there to screw things up, like in our history. That's happening all the time when people get headaches and stuff like that, and they feel like they're, sometimes not every headache's like that, but sometimes somebody can go back in your life and screw something up. Why you can't remember things. There's all the time. I mean, that doesn't mean it's always somebody messing around, but there are cases where that's true. So even in Earth's timeline, they can go back and mess. I mean, how are we going to know? There's all multiple timelines, but they can go to the main timeline and screw with it. And sometimes it's for the better. So even if our history books say one thing, something else happened. So, those that are controlling our reality are very much involved with, telling us their version of it. So yeah, there's just like the pyramids being used against humanity at one time. Shit, like a weapon. Wasn't the initial plan for it, but anything can be used as a weapon. I think the pyramids were used as a weapon at one time when everything went to hell. So the ones in Egypt, that's the energy I'm getting from that. Obviously not everybody's involved with that type of reality, but I can feel it. I feel there's something there that's just not right. Obviously. I mean, even the government doesn't want you meditating or anything like that. There's some other reason behind it. So obviously a darker force took over it. Obviously. So it's used for mind control too. And it's doing pretty well. Okay, it's back. Gee, I wonder why. Wonder why it went south like that. Yeah, big surprise, right? I think my internet died out. Because it did. Yep. How convenient. Got private sessions, we're adding channel, Google Hangout, Zoom in channel by phone. Make sure everything's working here still. I'm on July 1st here, social network. Yeah, same situation. Jeez. Somebody's pissed off. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. Okay, yeah, so this is kind of how convenient. So this is like a hangout. It's like if you do time travel work, you go to a place like this, and you hide out, and you work on a world like this, so nobody can find you. Back to the Future is also, I don't know about a time traveling car, but the future I can definitely connect with. Also, Doc and Marty, you can say like the old time traveler is teaching the young time traveler. So maybe it just remove all that whole thing about the movie and just like you're teaching his apprentice. Of course, in the movie, it's not exactly what's going on, but sometimes you have to throw somebody into it. That's what the first movie is basically you just sort of end up there and you mess things up. So there's Time Cop. And the machine they use, I believe, exists somewhere. I mean, the movie is cheesy as hell, but that's kind of the point. You give you a cheesy movie, and they put a lot of truth out there. So yeah, the movie is kind of ridiculous, but that doesn't matter. But there are some, yeah, they use, they're going into screwing around with realities. So Back to the Future 2 is one that's always been. I mean, I don't think I was flying around in a car, but jumping timelines, because that's what they did through the whole movie. That I can relate to. And Doctor Who does. I don't get into Doctor Who. It's too much of a comedy there, but yeah, it's just so yeah. With Doc and Marty, it's more like the old time traveler teaching it's the young apprentice, basically. So like I said, it's like the Wild West. Like time traveling is like probably one of the worst incarnations you can get to. I mean, when you screw something up and fixing it is a whole different story. And it might seem like fiction here, but when you're experiencing it, yeah, I don't think many of them incarnate here very often, for obvious reasons. Memories, but some of them do. To heal themselves. They still have nemesis they're dealing with here too. So yeah, it's not a. I don't think it's a very popular incarnation cycle for some people. It's just too much. Now you can get help from guides and all that. That's when your spirit guides really work, because you're on, it's high octane, depending on the situation, and you need all the help you can get through others, because depending on what's going on. So when you think about it, it can get very tricky, and you can get lost very easily. Let's put it that way. You just can. Just thinking about it makes you lost. I mean, even the movies can't get it right. They get all messed up. Yeah, it can get really. And it's usually done in the fourth dimension. No, it's not done in the third dimension. It's mostly in the fourth. But you can appear in the third. But it's mostly fourth dimensional work. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Waste of energy I'm getting from it. So. This is why, yeah, you have a different energy than most people, because people don't have incarnations like that. Like 90% don't do that. So that's where you meet people. It's like, I think I know you from somewhere. So, yeah, probably because I showed up for a couple of minutes in your reality somewhere. And I had to get the hell out of Dodge or whatever it was. So there's a little bit of that too. So. Yeah, just little triggers, like, you might remember somebody, but from where is easier said than done. So, all right, is my internet dead again? Well, we're just having a field day here today on internet. Jeez. Yeah, it's blinking. Usually it's just green. It's red, it's orange, it's yellow, and now it's green. Okay. Jeez. That's nice. Yeah, it's all shaky here. Lovely. It'll get better, maybe. Ursa Major. Okay. Alright, everything's green now. And YouTube is, yeah, it's gotten better on YouTube finally. Okay, here we go. That's where we get all this. Alright, blessings. Obviously, a lot of things are kept from us, future and all that, for obvious reasons. Yeah, some of us have been there. Yeah, when you've been to the future a lot of times, of course you're trying to predict it or connect. Yeah, you just, yeah, just because you've been there. So why you can predict it here in this incarnation, because you've been there already. So like with Trump, certain things you just know because you've been there. But this situation, yeah, you get your ass kicked. Like I said, a couple of years ago, I got super sick for like 6 months. Because I'm pretty sure I saw this coming, but I got penalized for seeing it. And of course, I didn't remember it, but anyway, doesn't matter. Jeez. Okay, alright, blessings, here we go. Greetings to you from Ursa Major. Greetings to your world. Yes, your fabric of time, your reality that is created. Many of you come from, yes, constellations that are not very popular or known. They are popular in the traditional sense, but not by your world. They're hidden places, so you can do work on this world. Yes, and there are, yes, time traveling areas. Usually it's on the moons, hidden parts of the moon for time travel incarnations. At least that's where the settlements are. And there are time traveling planets where the whole planet is barren, but is used for time travel, a base, basically. Our energy is just your planet. We have, yes, ambassadors that watch your world. We do have a money system similar to yours, but not of the traditional sense of slavery, but more of fortune to others, and use money as a, how do you call it, a commodity. I mean, to share it, just make it beautiful. You can say collected. So it's not used for food, it is used for trading. But it's usually of an elegant vibration. You can make your own. You can make your own money too, and it can be sometimes worth more than the current money that's going on. So, yes, it's all in what people want to buy. Yes, it's a different, but no, there's no starvation on our planet, just on yours. But some do want to be challenged a great deal, so they're always making their own money. That's why those that come to your world and counterfeit it all the time. They're just very good at it because they do it on other planets, but it's done differently. So it's, yeah, for some beings they use it to how do you word it on their planet, as a challenge to others who can make the best money. We don't call it money, but it's kind of the same thing. Yes, on our planet, yeah, the being or our constellation, many beings are, yes, very tall. Yes, 12 feet tall. Some are, yes, of the 12th dimension, of course. We have third dimensional planets, not exactly similar to yours, less negativity, but more insight to your planet. We have planets of scientists that study worlds similar to yours. They have not reached out to your planet because your world's too hostile. But as you start to open up your vibration, that'll be different. Yes, there is aquatic worlds in our area. Yes, there are very advanced aquatic beings that can walk the land. They do have usually a technology so they can breathe, but not all worlds are like something they can breathe in air. But usually, yes, they look like, a fish being, basically, as you've seen in some of your cartoons. And the Alpha Centauri has a great deal of that too, but usually that's scattered everywhere. The reason that we're connecting, yes, is as our constellation is used as a protector from your worlds. Many of you incarnates in our neck of the woods to heal from a planet like yours. So you're not that far away, but you're far away enough to get a different perspective. Well, because someone is staying in the neighborhood of planets before you can go to another part of the universe or another universe altogether. Some don't want to remove themselves too far from the Earth's energy. So you incarnate into one of our worlds that knows about this world. You'll be able to understand it, even guide it, bring assistance to it too, before you officially leave altogether. Or not leave at all. Some usually leave, but it all depends on the relationship. So some that go into spirit instantly, some of them incarnate as an alien being to reconnect to the planet because your energy is closer as an alien energy. Or some just rather be a spirit, but once again, as a spirit, you're not usually heard. Of course, not many of you are connected to aliens at this time, but that's going to change. So, send energies to you. Greetings. You could say we're the time traveling council connected to your planet. We are Zetas. Many of you, yes, are of a human form. Usually, time traveling experiments, yes, are done on an alien reality. But many, yes, humans from Tau Ceti, Alpha Centauri, many places around to incarnate as a time traveler into your world to preserve your planet or to change it. Now, some changes are necessary for changes to happen here, but it has to be by the Earth's consciousness, allowing the timeline change to occur. But not all beings go by that. Some do it, yes, for their own selfish ways, and that happens all the time, actually. And it does affect certain deaths here in your reality. As you've seen it in the movies, all of a sudden your friend a friend dies all of a sudden. It's like they're healthy and all of a sudden you got it. So yes, they're possibly, not always, but there is a possible timeline manipulation there. Depending on the family. The elite do it all the time to each other, actually. But nothing too dramatic to really shift your Earth. But as you become more aware of your foundations, yes, you'll feel more of a time-traveling existence. Yes, it's a whole nother world, basically. A world that is... It's... Yes, there's not words for it. Well, not necessarily, no. It is connected to hostile planets sometimes. Due to what is occurring. So it can make worlds like... Basically, a time-traveling planet can create worlds like yours. If you mess with its past enough, it can turn into an Earth environment like yours. A hostile environment lost on many levels. So... It is known to happen not exactly like your planet, but there are similar worlds that have occurred. I mean, they're made for peaceful reasons, but then they can get lost. They assist other planets, but then their own planet gets manipulated. So in your incarnation cycles, some of your memories are starting to remember things. Yes, many of you are incarnated angels on different levels. Some of you are spirit guides, or just still learning how to be a spirit guide. There's a lot to learn there still. Even those that are humans that are stuck in the third dimension idea system, many of them are spirit guides too, because they need to understand the third dimension. It's part of their level they need to be in. It's a lot of studying to do there, because other planets are very much still of a third dimensional level that still have to be understood. This world makes it easy to understand it on other realities. When you're here, you might as well absorb it all. Might as well. The relationships, the schoolings, whatever it is, it's like this world has everything, because other worlds don't have as this at this level usually. There are worse planets, but still not at this caliber of what it is. So, and yet many of you go into other planet versions of Earth to assist, but we're working on this one. So many time traveler energies, yes, that have been in different versions of Earth multiple times a day. That's why some of you are having difficulties here in this reality, because you're used to leaping from world to world to world, and it usually gets more exciting each one you go. Used to, yes, a high vibrational, just like a mental high. Of course, yes, there are times where you're being chased. Sometimes it is reptilian energies, depending on what it is. For good or for bad. It is... Yes, is the other Wild West that's not fully mentioned. Doctor Who is from another reality, but it's more of a calmer base. There's others that are more intense, and that's more connected to your world. The more intense time traveling experiments, like changing a president, as you call it, Mandela effect. Well, even time travelers are able to cause a Mandela effect by really shifting things. That's a major shift. It's usually not allowed, but it can occur. And when that occurs, usually when that's done, putting it back to normal is not always a good idea, but it all depends on the situation. So your world's gone through many of these through your incarnation. Of course, you're not going to remember it. You can look up in your modern history is the version that obviously is not the correct one, as many of you know. So there's been many alterations of your past, and your higher elites are all involved with it. So this is why it's so difficult to see the past, because it's been muzzled, but it can be unwound. It's not the easiest place to see either. Once you understand your history, the true history of your Earth, your third dimension, yes, begins to even more break down. Just by you connecting to it, your third dimension world feels it. Because the reality that was built is no longer sustainable anymore. As you know the truth of your reality, your third dimension just doesn't have, the infrastructure is even erode even more. Because now because it's all created by manipulative energies. Yes, your school systems, your money systems, your government systems, is all system after system. And once you see the other side of it from a alien perspective within your own vibration, it can't sustain itself anymore. That's a gradual process. But as you as the Earth Collective starts to see it more clearly, you're basically just removing all the old systems. That's when your new Earth comes in. You're just basically cleaning house on multiple levels. So we can say that Richard Nixon, there's a lot of energy there of what to do with him. Keep him in office, remove him from office. There were several timelines that were tested before the final one occurred. But even some of you might find an alternative timeline. Yes, Nixon is a big one. One of them, at least. One of the ones we can talk about, at least. But it's free to do hints on your own. There is stories out there of Nixon still being president, even to your modern day, or as long as he lives. So, yes. Because that was a possibility. So that was allowed to be brought into your environment. Or into your fictional environment. Just a lot of little hints of your reality, how different things can be. You took the more traditional sense, but it could have been radicalized greatly. As basically having a president around for 5-10 years, longer than it's supposed to be. For example, not as a dictatorship. It just extended power, that's all. Not that it matters on your planet anyway. But it kept a traditional sense instead. So now your current environment, yes, is building up new directions for your planet to go. Obviously, we're not allowed to mention what those things are, because we'll get penalized at this time. We'll just say that follow your intuitions, it will all work out, not to, get pulled into the propaganda. Concentrate on your own selves and your own realities, and allow, the bizarre to come through. Because the bizarre is more likely true. Now, you believing it's another thing, but many of you are on that belief system now. You know there's more going on in reality. So they take your reality as very large, and then they simplify it. But now you're bringing it back. You're bringing yourself back to an infinite being, an immortal, basically, too. This is what they don't want you to know. And many of you are knowing it. You might seem as crazy in this reality, but many of you are starting to feel you are the normal and the rest are far from it, the programmed humans. And this is why you choose worlds like this. Worlds that have completely forgot themselves. It's not the most fun, but it is more satisfactory when the game is over. So the war is not easy, no. So of course, you have time travelers that incarnate here, angels that incarnate here, and even angels are time travelers in their own regard. It's just not their main occupation. They heal a lot of energy, try to at least. Not everybody is here to heal, though. Sometimes you need that anger, that fire to keep you going, as many of you know. Blessings.